Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back this week to the Married to My Purpose podcast. I am your host, Dr. Serelda, where we talk about real stories, real experiences, and real talks on being married to your purpose. And of course, this week I am smiling from ear to ear because I got a good friend on here. And listen, I got my glass of tea because this is what we do when we have tea. We just take a drink. Now we hadn't even started talking yet, but I already know it's gonna be good. Listen, we have been dodging phone calls so that we don't find out nothing that's going on in each other's lives. Now y'all not gonna get all the tea because it ain't your business, but we're gonna give you what we want you to know. So, having said that, I am so delighted to have my good friend, good sister, good comrade, as you see the flag in the background, Dr. Natasha Sunday-Clark, who is going to come on and talk to us about what she's doing, what she has done, and what she is getting ready to do. So, Dr. Natasha, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for taking a little time. I know you are busy doing things that you're getting ready to talk about. I'm not going to tell them. So thank you for making time because I know you are extremely busy. Now, what we're going to do, I'll give you a little time to tell us about yourself, what you're doing, and then we'll just bounce back and forth and give the people what they need. So the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Serelda. I am elated to be here. You know, I always love it. We always have a good time. There's always never a dull moment because we are always kikiing. Um,
And
so
drinking
I
tea.
am Dr. Natasha Sunday-Clark. I am a wife, a mother, a sister, a daughter, everything in between. I am a transitioning military Army officer, 27
Whoop,
years,
whoop,
5 months,
Army
and
strong.
11 days. Yes, I had to put it all out there.
Congratulations.
Woo, 33 more days on active duty. And I will
But you're not
transition.
counting.
Not, no, no, never that. So as I told you earlier, please excuse me for anyone that has a fur baby and you understand my little Max, he is everything. He runs this house. So I'm just excited. I'm ready to jump in. Yes.
Okay, well, tell us about, you talked a little bit about your transitioning from the military right now. I know that that is a whole conversation within itself. You also shared a little bit about your foundation, your leadership foundation and business that you have launched and are continuing to build. So I don't know where you want to start, but my question to you is, how do you feel at this point? Being able to be a very strong leader in your current field that you're transitioning out of, how is that as you go out going into another space? What are the feelings that keep popping up at this point?
To be honest, I'm happy. I am
Hmm.
finally at a place where I'm at peace. This was not an easy decision to come to. It was not one that was. Um, I feel sad. There are days when I feel
Mm,
sad because this is all I've ever known. The military
yeah.
has been my baby. I talked about that a little bit in the collaboration that we did with your book, Married to My Purpose, and how this was my first love. And so, getting ready to transition into a world that seemingly would be simple has not been easy. Something as simple as um, going in to open up a bank account and being asked for a social security card, and I didn't have one.
Right.
Because like I had my military ID, and that was a shocker to have to go to the. It was a process. I will just say anxiety
I
kicked
have
in.
not had to pull my social security card out for anything for a while. Wow. I know
30
that can be
years.
different.
It's been 30 years, and so yeah, you would think that that would be something that's easy, but it wasn't.
Mm.
But
So
I'm
the everyday
happy.
life, you talk about
Oh no,
everyday
I'm not.
just tasks. You're like, what? I don't, where's my
Basic
card?
tasks, the schools. Now that I say I'm a real mom now because I'm not. I can actually focus on my children and focus on their
Wow.
schooling. But so when the schools call me, I'm ready to go. Direct, candid conversations. But I have to remember that not everyone's waking up at 04 in the morning. They're not getting up till late, and they're also dealing with our children. So it's all just new. How to navigate conversations, how to have conversations that don't involve acronyms.
Mm,
So that's new.
I can imagine because we use a lot of acronyms in the
Yes,
military.
yes. But I'm happy. But on the sad days, I can pick up and call people like you. I have my really, really good girlfriends. I have my family, my
You got a big
Sunday
family.
five.
And
Me
I'm
and
talking
my
about the
family, we are
immediate
really
family.
close,
I'm
but
not
the
talking about
Sunday
the
five,
extended.
we are like very close. So, having their support means the world to me. Having my spouse, Jay served and he retired
Jay is the
back in
mayor. Okay.
15, but
Since y'all was in Korea and
yeah,
he came back, he was the mayor of the post. I don't
he,
mess with the mayor.
he everybody knows Jim. We're gonna call him Jim, his work name. Um,
Him.
but he definitely has helped me when he sees me going high. He's like, it's okay.
Mhm.
Just cool out, just chill out. When I say I just need a moment, he and the kids have given me that time to just be able to just think because
Yeah.
this is new. I thought it was gonna be easy, but I don't care how many classes that they offer, and they do offer some really good classes. So for anyone who hasn't had the opportunity to do the transition classes, and I highly, highly recommend it. It does not matter
Don't
your
skip it.
rank, however many years, go in and do it because there are so many things I learned. But everything else I think comes with life experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because you started off by saying happy and then you immediately said sad. So there's a dichotomy of having both at the same time because you never know, you want to be happy all the time. Obviously, you don't want to say, oh, I want to wake up and be sad. But it's a feeling. It's a normal feeling in a process of you're changing into somebody different. Um, right? I mean, time isn't stopping. It's just happening.
Yes.
It's just happening. So listen, let me ask you this because for those of you who don't know, we did create the Married to My Purpose book, which was a bestseller, by the way. So if you don't have it, go out and get it. And if you're in the DMV on February 15th, you can come out to the book signing, which is halfway sold out right now. But what I want to focus on today is Dr. Natasha. I call her the closer of the book because there were 4 or 5 women in addition to me that wrote this book, and we had our vignettes throughout the book. Well, Dr. Natasha, her portion of the book was at the end. So I want you to talk about some of the highlights of the things that you wrote, or tell me and tell the audience why you took the angle that you did to talk about those areas in the Married to My Purpose book.
Well, I want to thank you for allowing me to be the closer because I
You need to
actually
get you
thought
a
about it.
T-shirt, the
I
closer.
did the closer. I thought about it being closing, truly closing a chapter in my life. And I took the angle of focusing on married to my first love, which was the United States Army.
Mm-hmm.
There were times when I felt like there were divorces within the Army because you get
Mm-hmm.
into certain situations. There were times
You
when I
need to
felt like,
tell Max we're not talking about him right now.
no, Max, y'all just please excuse Max. Um,
He is
there
fine.
were shifts in
Mm-hmm.
um, stages with people. And
Mm.
just like in a relationship, for me, the military was something that I had to grow into. You build that relationship. But
Yeah.
then when it's time to say, okay, we're done, till death do you part. I'm not saying that the military, this is like death do I part, but this is the time when I'm departing. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
where the sadness comes into play. And so I talked about that. Even though I'm retiring in 33 days,
Okay.
I'm not counting.
But you ain't counting.
Um, I taught I gave my portion in the book in the present tense as if it had already happened. And I think that actually kind of helped me get over that hump. Because
Mm.
I was still kind of like, I can possibly just go back in and tell them no. The unknown. And you know me, I do everything. I'm in some of everything. Working on my second
Won't be
doctorate
still.
right
Will
now.
not be still.
I'm ministering at the church. I'm on like 4 boards. I tried substitute teaching, so I'm doing a little bit of everything right now. It takes a special gift to work with children, so
Yes,
I
it
will
does.
say that. Yes,
It
but yeah.
does. Wow. You said something earlier, not until death do me part, but I departed.
Mhm.
I never thought about making those a contrast because it's real. I mean, my transition, my latest change, going through a 23-year divorce. There was no physical death that happened, but there was a death of a season, and the grief is just the same. The grief is, I may smell something, I may see something, I may see an email, I may see a text, and it triggers a place that I don't want to remember. And so instead of sitting in it and waddling in it, I have to sit in it and process out of it. And that's what you did when I read your portion of the book. And it seems like in your life, every step that I'm watching you, I mean, we don't talk every day, but we never have. We talk and then we come back together and talk for 8 hours, almost missed the flight, sitting in the Bahamas, like what in the world? Eyeballs look like the little mouse on the cartoons. Like, what are we doing? We ain't old. We're not young. We old people. So when we talk about those areas in life where we have to change, we're not it's not like we're forced out of it. You didn't force wasn't forced out of the military. You weren't forced out of it. It was a choice. And sometimes in the military, like you said, that was your life. And then you realize that was part of your life. And then you also realize it was part of your life for a season. So the more you process out of it, the more you realize it wasn't as big as I thought it was in my life, or that hard to part from. It's not
Well,
easy.
I don't know. I still think it's still hard to part. Yesterday, I
You
put
think
my
so?
uniform on, and that was the first time I'd worn that uniform in like a year. And at first, I was like, oh, I'm putting it on. But then, I walked downstairs to the hotel because I was doing a ceremony.
Mm,
And, getting thank you for your service. And then you see moms, older moms, they're like, oh my
mm,
gosh, you just make us feel so proud to see you. And all of those feelings came back, and
came right
standing in
back.
front of those new soldiers, talking to them. And I'm just like, thank you for saying your yes, you're going to be part of the 1%. And I wanted to kind of jump back in. But then this morning I had to get up for an appointment, and I had to get up at 5, and I was like, you know what, never mind. I take that back. I'm good.
I'm good.
So I have moments. I have moments. I'm like, hey,
I,
I'm good. I'm good.
I have never experienced change and transition um so prominently in an area of my life that I didn't really want to do. Some days I regret, some days I think about pain and rage. Thank God I haven't raged out. Like the young kids say, flash out. I ain't flashed out on nobody. But the fact that you have gone through this career and it's going to stamp, complete, or the DD-214 is going to be stamped, and all of those things, collaborating with all of the talents, the gifts, the knowledge, the skills and abilities that you have and that you've accomplished, all of the people that you've mentored, because you've left a legacy. And sometimes you won't even see that until you're on the other side of it. And speaking of which, Gym Leadership Foundation, like, what is the purpose of that? Where did it birth from?
So for me, I'm always looking at little anecdotes of things. And for me, gym is like when you give people like nuggets. And so, I had the designer when they went in, put a tree together with little diamonds because I love the bling. If anybody
Mm,
knows me, I'm a blingy girl. Um, and so they put little diamonds on there, so little gems that fall. But I wanted to be able to come in and talk to veterans and those that are non-veterans. I've noticed that I have a huge population of non-veteran personnel that want to talk about sexual assault, sexual harassment, because those things were real. I experienced those things in the military. Suicide prevention, how to deal with it. Something else that I dealt with personally and then dealt with it as a commander when I was in the Army. Um,
mm,
and so those things were really hard, and I wanted to have a safe space for people to be able to talk to. And so that's kind of where Jim came from. Jay wanted me to add to it that I would also start looking at government contracting as well,
mm.
but again, helping our veterans with homelessness. And so those are things, as I'm looking at transition, that I really want to help with. So that's where I'm going with the gym. Um, and in that, I'm also working on my other doctorate where I'm working on general Christian counseling and ministry. And so
Wow.
that can kind of help me because, again, when you're talking to all these people, they're dealing with life and life's experiences. And for me, I'm a Christian, so I want to be able to give a foundational base on
Yeah,
faith. And so whether your walk is a Christian walk or something different, but something that you can believe in to hold on to as
that's
I'm
right.
talking to them or as I'm just listening. Some people just want a listening ear. And it's not always just about you talking, they just want somebody to be there to listen. And so these classes are really helping me to learn how to be a great listener.
I
Um,
love that. I
so,
love that. And I think so often when we're in the military, considering both of us were officers, we normally do a lot of the directing of things, and which requires us to communicate more or follow up more or change this or change that. So it is a skill set that requires us to shift sometimes because we are the one in the front and everybody behind us is like, what do you need us to do? Well, when is this due? It's definitely a shift moving from uniform into the civilian sector myself. And then, like you said, in ministry, it's not easy because some of them converge. When you are working in a field where we're talking about the rights of people, not the orientation of people. And then you're a Christian and people confuse it like, you believe in that? I believe in the fact that every human being, I don't care what their orientation is, deserve a certain minimum amount of rights.
yeah,
So it's not hard for me to distinguish the two. And you being able to see some of those things where you're talking about sexual assault, sexual harassment, suicide. I'm not saying that when people talk about it and you're advocating for it, that you're normalizing it. What you're
right.
basically saying is any normal person can go through it.
Yes.
That's what people don't realize. I've been in a space where I'm like, and when I come out of it on the outside of it, I'm like, did I just actually think about the fact that I didn't want to live? Like that was foreign to me. But at some point it wasn't so foreign,
That's true.
depending on what trauma I was going through. Like, well, maybe I shouldn't. And that is something that that thought process needs to be normalized so that you don't decide, well, this is it. So
I'm,
I
I'm
applaud you.
thankful that we have a lot more avenues out there that's available to people, especially in our community, the people of color, because growing up, that's
Prayer not
something
gonna
we did
just
not
get it.
talk about it. So now we can openly talk about it. They have platforms out there where if you're not comfortable talking, you can text
That's
this
right.
information out to people. So I'm really glad that as a society, we're being more sensitive and we're being more aware, or we're working to be more aware of these
Yeah.
types of things. So,
Yeah, I mean, and for you to build, and you're still building, Jim, like you're just going from one level to the next, and you're inside of what's the right word? You're inside of the military sandbox still. I mean,
yes,
you haven't gone all the way on the other side of it to be on the outside now advocating from a different space, and I'm so excited to see where this is going to go because there's so many people that need it. You know, and I know there's a stigma. So people say, "Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Yep, everything's all right." Well, we know it's not.
yeah.
But we also know that we're over here weighing. Well, I'll tell them that I'm not good after I do A, B, C, and D. I'll tell them that I'm not good after I get through this class. I'll tell them that I'm not good after I make this rank. And we may not
I
ever.
was intentional in 2021 about starting to tell people when I'm not good because for
Wow.
years, I told people I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And then boom, the ultimate happened. And so now it's if I say I ain't good, I'm not good. I don't want to talk about it. I'm just not good today.
Right.
I need a moment or I need a day to kind of process what's going on. Um, I tell people you see my social media life and you see that life and you glamorize that and you think that there's nothing going on, but I was wearing a mask before mask was even a thing.
Mm,
I was. And I
wow.
could be whoever you wanted me to be in whatever environment you needed me to be in. And so, trying to be that real, true, authentic self when we say it is such a beautiful cliche of words.
So
But
nice.
are you truly your true, authentic self?
Right.
Um, I say still can't be my true, authentic self because I have to keep things on private and blocks and because you don't want
Mm,
people reaching out and contacting you or saying negative things because I'm trying to keep out, the negativity in life. So
yes.
still
Yeah.
working on it. It's still a process. God ain't through with me yet.
God is not through. He's not done with you yet. There is
Mm-hmm.
more to your story. I'm over here quoting the song for people who know it. He is not done with you yet.
It's not done
But
with me yet.
that's right. So we've talked about change. We've talked about not being okay. My question to you from that is this, Dr. Natasha, what is that? What is that? I'm not okay look like? Is it where you realize I cannot be okay and still function during that day, or is it I've got to shut completely down? Because for me, I'm learning, like for example, at Bible study last night, we were talking about peace, and we were talking about peace being God's peace being our portion. And I explained to the congregation and Pastor Jones, I said, sir, for me, compliance was standard. So
Mm-hmm.
when I grew up, you didn't get to give an opinion. If you were told to go do this, you just go do it. I said, and because he was talking about anxiety versus anxiousness, and then he started talking about other things. I said, well, sir, what's the alternative in the kingdom when you worry? If anxiousness is an alternative to anxiety, because anxiety is diagnosed,
Mm-hmm.
anxiousness is a feeling. Well, if we worry and you say not to worry, then what's the alternative? And of course, we went into the scripture and he was talking about, you've got to be a new creature. You've got to, regulate your mind. And how do you shift in those moments? Like, do you just say, I don't want to be around anybody, or you're just integrating in life? When you're not okay, you're just not okay.
I think it's I think it can be both.
Mm,
It's multi facet. It can be you know, for me, for
mhm.
Natasha, I find moments when I just need peace. I just need quietness. I need stillness. There
Okay.
are moments. There are certain people, only a handful of people I can pick up and I can just say, "Hey, I'm not okay." It
Yeah.
don't mean I need you to call 911. You just know that I'm not okay. And we just may need to get me to a place where I'll be okay. Hey girl, get in the car, drive to Olive Garden. You know what? Because that's gonna make me laugh. It's
Breadsticks
gonna
and
make me
soup,
talk,
honey.
The, but the, if there is a way for somebody to have a person, and
Mhm.
there were years ago where there used to be movies that came out, songs, and they say, my person. If you can have your person, and sometimes your person may not be your spouse.
That's right.
For me, Jay will say, he's my person, but up to a certain point, because I can't throw all that on him because he's got the weight of the family on his
And
shoulders.
his own stuff that we may not
His
even know
own
about.
thing he's dealing with. And so for me, I gotta be like, who's my person?
Yeah.
I have three persons, so they know
Yeah.
who those three are. So y'all just be okay with that. You are my people, you know.
Yeah.
But they are my no matter what,
Yeah.
that's just what it is. But that's something that I had to go through. Everyone
Wow.
is different. Everybody don't have that.
Yeah.
And I find that a lot of our people that I speak with, male, females, children, they may not always have a person or persons. And so, I just pray that God allows me to be a light,
Yeah.
that that people see the light that's in me, not just see me, but see the light that's in me, so they can find that peace.
Yeah.
And I just kind of take that on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So next steps. Um, in a couple of weeks, I think
33 days.
33 days, you will be off the rolls for a little while unless they recall you. But you like, please don't say you just stressed me out all over again.
Don't give me anxiety.
What's next? Like, are you gonna take a break? You're gonna just travel? Are you gonna just unplug from people for a little bit and just, you know, what are you planning to do? Because I'm jealous.
I'm
I
supposed
miss
to give these
this
great
process.
answers and have these. I do not know. Honestly, I don't
And
know.
that's good.
I don't know. I am finishing my doctorate. I want to have it complete. I want to have it complete this year. I just
Okay.
got to buckle down. I'm almost at the portion where I'll get to the dissertation and start working that piece. But that goal is number one. Goal number two is I want to go on some type of trip where I can unplug from
Yes.
technology.
Now
So
that's
I don't know
good.
what that's going to look like. But I want to unplug from technology for a week and
Yeah,
just
I love
all
that.
things technology. And so I'm like,
All things.
"Ooh, I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know where that's going to be at,
So
but
you're not taking pictures of your cute sundress, your shoes, your fingernails. You're not gonna do
nope,
the sideburns like with nothing.
nope.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to pray. Tell me when you going, cause
Nope. Yes, I will tell you when I'm going because I'm gonna need all the prayers. But it's something that I've been wanting to do. I read it. Actually, Will Smith. I was reading one of his book a
yeah,
couple of years ago, and it's something he did it for like 3 weeks. Now I'm not doing that. I said a week, probably like 5 days, but I want to unplug.
yeah,
Yeah. So
and
no
that's good.
TV, no TV, no books because you know your mind gets going into
Yes,
books.
it's still coming on. It's still on. It's still turning.
Yes.
Wow, that is amazing. Like talking about change, talking about transition, talking about not being okay. I mean, and you when I say you're talking about not being okay and you still land with a smile or you still land with this spirit of peace, so many people don't have that. And for you to be able to parlay your pain and parlay your experiences of misfortune, whatever you want to call it, in your life, and then say somebody else could be going through this. We need more people like that
Mhm.
because some people are like, well, I got mine and I, good luck. Like everything going on in the government right now, people are on admin leave that may not come back to a job.
Yeah.
People are um, getting notices to, the quote is sign and resign is
Yeah.
what they're calling it. That's stressful. We see it, but the people in the background that really see what they see, that is psychologically stressful
Yes.
to families, not just the person that had to receive it and make a decision. Not only the
I
people
wish
that
they would
at
look
home.
to hire more counselors during this time frame with all of this happening um, for those people to
Yes,
give them an outlet because some people don't have that. Some people are saying, you know, it's okay, I'm fine, I'm not worried about it, but you know, are they really okay? Are you really okay? Are the offices okay?
that's
Is
right.
the leadership gonna be okay?
That's
So,
right. Yeah.
you
Well, I
know,
definitely, wow. I appreciate you tonight,
yes,
Dr. Natasha. Thank you for taking some time to talk to us and very transparent. I really appreciate that because we need it. We need real people talking about real stories. A lot of times we want to fabricate, and I'm so glad we're almost done with this segment because I'm like, I got to talk to my girl. I don't want to ask no
I
questions because I want to
know.
hear it on the screen live.
Yes.
So thank you so much. I'm glad that as the viewers listen to this and uh, bookmark it so that they can go back to it and understand what you're doing. They now have a name with a face, and hopefully y'all don't be inboxing my girl asking her where she got her braids. I mean, you can. It ain't nothing
Yes,
secret.
the Melting Pot is my sister's beauty salon. So find Quee. It's in Coppers Cove, Texas. So if you're in Central Texas, um, so plug out there. If you want to find me, you can find me on LinkedIn with my name, Natasha Sunday-Clark. You can also find me on Facebook. I'm still a book of faces. Um, Instagram, I have Miss Clark 1920, but I like hit or miss. I'm just wanting people to look at the reels. So definitely Facebook. You know, you can find me on LinkedIn.
Wow. Listen, thank you so much, Dr. Natasha, and everyone. Thank you for logging into our segment tonight with Dr. Natasha Sunday-Clark, the founder and CEO of GEM Leadership Foundation, LLC. We look forward to seeing what you're going to do. Happy pre-retirement to you after a whole lot of years
Yeah.
serving. And don't be a stranger to us, comrades and military folks. Listen, everybody, good night, and we will see you all next week. Bye now. Now I can drink.
Max, look, now he's sitting here. Ain't nothing bothering him. He just,
He's done with his interview.
I'm telling you, Max be doing the most. He does the
Max is
most.
a mess.